What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Good to see you. I hope all of you are well today. For those of you who are new here, my name is Stasha. Hello. Hi. How are ya? So today we are going to be doing this makeup look right here. If you guys want to see how to do it, then just keep on watching. The first step to any makeup look is to moisturize and prime the skin. So I've already done this, but the products that I did use today were the Tatcha Silk Canvas as well as the GLAMGLOW Waterburst. I just put this right underneath the eyes. Especially in these winter months, I tend to get a little bit drier under there. And then I primed in the places where my pores tend to get a little bit more enlarged. So right around my nose area and in between my eyebrows. Ooh. Baby hairs. Can you guys see that? Look at my like mohawk of baby hairs that I have going on. Kind of look like a soccer mom. It's totally fine. Come on, kids. It's time for school. For foundation today, we are going to mix it up a little bit, and we are going to be using the GIORGIO ARMANI Luminous Silk Foundation. This one I feel like just has a little bit more moisture in it, so it's good for when your skin's feeling a little bit dry and needs a little bit more love. So I'm just putting 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and then we will work up if we need a little bit more from there. And I already know I'm gonna get a few comments. Stasha, why are you putting such dark foundation on? Because we're matching it to our neck, not our skin or face color. Yeah, our face color. Get a little bit on our ears. Bring it down the neck, because we want everything to look cohesive. Let me just take a second and look at my face and then my forehead. So I am just going to spot conceal on those blemishes that are healing or that need a little bit more coverage. And for that today, I am using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. And this is in the shade Medium Dark. So we are just going to place that over the places that need a little bit more help. And then for under our eyes and in our T-zone, down our nose, across our chin, we are going to be using the same type product from Urban Decay, the Naked Skin, in the shade Light Neutral. I actually got a comment on, I think it was the last video that I did. Someone was like, I hate how YouTubers always say our and we and we're going to. And I was like, well, I know that you guys aren't doing it here with me like right now, but if you have me on your computer or your phone and you're doing your makeup, it's gonna sound weird if I'm just like, I'm gonna do this, and then next I'm going to, I don't know, I wanna feel like we're doing our makeup together, you know? We're dampening our beauty blender with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. And now that we have our war paint on, we're gonna blend that in. Beating ourselves up real fast. So what are some of your guys' goals for 2019? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys since last year. Well, technically I haven't, because I did post a video in 2019, but I backlogged that video. So I filmed it in 2018, posted it in 2019. So one of my goals for this year is to put out 2 videos a week for you guys. Some of you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, that's gonna be so easy. No. All right, and for setting that today, we are going to try out the Revolution Banana Powder. So it looks almost identical to the Ben Nye Banana Powder, but I've had this sitting in my makeup room for quite a while and I haven't used it yet, so fingers crossed. How do I get this open? Help! Here, I'll take the trash too. All right. So we're just smoothing out underneath our eyes again. Okay, first impressions, you guys. This powder's bomb. Bomb.com. Does anybody even say that anymore? I don't know. I'm bringing it back. It's off the chain. I look insane. But as far as this powder goes, you guys, I really like it. So I know a while back, like before I started YouTube, when I was just watching YouTube videos, a lot of people that I used to watch would say like, oh, the RCMA powder is a great dupe for like Laura Mercier and things like that. No. Like this Revolution banana powder is an awesome dupe for the Ben Nye powder. Even though I don't think like a lot of people use that anymore, but this stuff is amazing and it's like a fraction of the price. Ew, did you hear that laugh? What the heck was that laugh? I sounded like Goofy. Oh, right here. This thing has been through the ringer. I even think that these are like chew marks for my dog, but I will never ever give up this brush. Should we try a different bronzer today? Because I use the same bronzer in every video. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is MAC Give Me Sun. Hopefully this doesn't make me look orange. If it does, I'll match my background. We're just going in the hollows of our cheeks. And one thing that I feel like you guys see me do, but I haven't really explained it, is here. So I will go in and I'll work the brush kind of back and forth like this, and then I'll brush it up. And that is just to kind of diffuse that harsh line that we initially put down. But I'm only brushing up. I'm not going down here because that makes your face look muddy, and we want our contour line to be like sharp and chiseled. So fun fact, and let me know if any of you have this problem too. My dogs love to chew on beauty blenders. Like what the heck? I don't know what that is about, but I have 2 dachshunds and they sneak into my makeup room even when I swear I lock the door. And they come in here and they steal beauty blenders, and I'll like come upstairs and there's just like a trail of like little sponge pieces like up the stairs and in my loft area, and I'm like, you guys, those are 20 bucks a piece. Like those are expensive. Stop it. Taking an angled brush and we are just bronzing up our forehead with that same MAC Give Me Sun. So I had a few of you ask me about this brush, and it is from a Sephora holiday collection that I got like 2-3 years ago. So it has this little tiny angled brush on this end, and then on this end it's just like a flat definer. But I use this end for my nose contour. For our nose contour, I am going to be using the MILANI Baked Bronzer just because I know how to work this product and I want it to look good. So we are going to dip into that MILANI bronzer, and I want you guys to come in just a little bit. So for this, I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth on this because I did it before and I got a ton of questions. I don't really think that I can do a whole video on this, and there are a lot of other videos out there on nose contour, but I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. So I start from the inside point of my brow on both sides, and then I just lightly bring it down my nose until I reach kind of like this little, okay, so I feel like the tip of my nose is really round, so I go right until it starts to kind of like curve out. And then the underneath side of my nose comes to like a V. So I like that part of my nose, so I will just shade it in, do a little V right here. And then I'll wipe off my brush on like a towel, or let's be honest, my pants. And then for this, I go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I take this end, like the, I don't know what to call this? The pointed end? I don't know. I take the tallest side of this brush and I just ever so lightly dip it into the butter bronzer. And the reason that I use the Physicians Formula instead of the MILANI is because it's more of a cool tone. So it gives it more of a realistic shadow effect. And I just take it right across. And then I will wipe my brush off one more time. And then in little tiny circles, I will go back in and diffuse that initial line that we put down. And I'm just kind of working that product into the skin until I'm content. Going back in with that banana powder from Revolution, taking that same sponge, and on the pointed end, very carefully, because we don't want to mess up all of that line work we just did. We were just kind of filling in that blank space. And then we will just let that kind of bake and sit there while we finish the rest of our makeup. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I look great right now. I could probably just like walk right out of the house. No? Probably not. I forgot. I always put a little bit of that MILANI bronzer on my eyelids as well. For brows today, I am using the same old tried and true. I know without a doubt I'm gonna be happy with how my brows turn out. The Anastasia Brow Definer, and this is in the shade Ebony. I'm trying to work cleaner because somebody told me that in makeup school, sorry, I'm trying to look at Jeremy right now, but in makeup school, the first thing that they always teach you is to work clean, which I definitely do not do. So 2019, we're trying to be better. Brush them up. Brush those brows up. So right now I am just brushing through my brows to try and get some of that excess powder and product out of them. And then next step is I brush my brow hairs down. And then I just fill them in. So give me one quick second and I will be right back. Brows are done. All right, so for the next step, we are doing a fairly simple type lid, and the real focus on today's look is gonna be our eyeliner and smoking that out. So for today's lid, we are going to be using the 35R Morphe palette. Ah! All right, I'm gonna open this up so that you guys can just kind of see the colors that we're working with today. Oh, they're so pretty. So pretty. This is my second 35R that I am now dipping into because I love this palette so much. I love browns, there's cool tones, there's warm tones, there's a ton of shimmers right here. This palette is awesome. So, for today's look, we are going to be using a Morphe 441. We are taking this third shade from the bottom, just kind of a neutral transition shade, and working that into our crease. You guys will notice that we're putting down a lot of the color and we're focusing actually a lot of the entire eye look on the outer half of our eye. That is going to kind of elongate and make our eyes look more feline-like, which I think is kind of the coolest part about this makeup look. So I need to put down some powder so that if we have fallout. So for the inside part of our lid, we are going to be using this sort of vanilla shade. I think it looks white on the camera, but it has a little tinge of yellow. So we are just going to be taking, this one is from e.l.f. It is a flat definer brush. We're gonna get that a little bit wet with some Fix Plus and just dipping into that shade And we are just going to kind of pack that in on our lid. Like so. Nothing too crazy because we don't want a lot of attention on this. In fact, we're kind of deferring the eye from the inside part of the lid by putting this shade here. Just kind of neutralizing it. Just kind of taking it off right here because we don't really need all of this anymore. All right, now for the fun part, we are going to go ahead and get into that eyeliner. Now I have semi-hooded eyes, so there will be a few tips and tricks in here just about, you know, making sure that your eyeliner has a straight line and making sure there isn't a divot. If you guys have hooded eyes or semi-hooded eyes, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So for this today, I am going to be using 3 different eyeliners. 3. Hello! For the first step in this eyeliner look, we are going in with the L'Oreal. And we are just going to, this part is simple. We're just gonna line our eye, right? So we're just going from inner corner to outer corner, just right along your lash line. And if you guys don't have lash extensions, this is gonna be a lot easier for you. You guys don't want this line to be too thick either, so don't worry about making it thin and then making it thicker, because we're gonna do that with the Miss Rosé, and that's actually going to map out how thick we want it on the outside. All right, so for our next step, we are going to be using the Miss Rosé eyeliner, and we are going to be using this cat eye stamp. So for this step, you just want your eyelid to stay where it lives, right? So you just want to look straight forward and connecting where you just put that L'Oreal eyeliner or whatever eyeliner you may be using. You just want to stamp it right here. So if you can notice, I'll pull my lashes down. I actually have a crease right at the edge of my eye, right here. And I hate it, but it's life and I have to live with it. So we are just going to look straight forward. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. What if I mess up? Oh. Say a quick prayer. All right, well, this is the reality of makeup is YouTubers are not perfect. Makeup artists don't always get it right the first time. I think that this eyeliner is pretty simple just to scratch off. So we're just gonna take the spoolie, the back end of this Anastasia brow pencil. Or actually, we'll take the back end of this Morphe and pray. Right. Hallelujah. Cat's out of the bag, you guys. YouTubers are not perfect. Round 2. All right. So after you've used the Miss Rosé to stamp on your cat eye, we are gonna go back in with the L'Oreal and just kind of connect that wing. If you can see, there's actually like a gap. So we want that line to be perfect and straight. So how we're gonna do that is we're gonna go in, close our eye, and just kind of fill it in. Now I'm going in with a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand and just sharpening up the bottom side or the bottom edge of those wings that I just did. Now it is time to smoke out that eyeliner, and we are using a precision brush from Morphe, the M506, and we are going to be going in with a dark brown shade, almost black, but not quite. So for that shade today, we're gonna be using this one right here. And how I like to start off, right at the corner of my eye. And we're gonna place that brush halfway on the eyeliner and halfway on the lid. So like so. And we're just tapping that color, not swiping it, but just tapping it. And we're not gonna bring it all the way out because that will kind of make the cat eye a little bit more muddy, and we want that very tip of the wing to be very precise and sharp. So we're just going right about here. Work slowly when you're doing this as well. Don't get a lot of product on your brush and just try and like go in and do it very quickly. I've tried that before and it always ends up like a muddy mess, so be patient, work slowly. And I am also just kind of bringing that shade up into our crease as well. Going back in with that M441 and that same initial shade that we put down on our lid, just to sort of blend those colors in together and make them seamless. So pretty. All right, and we're just doing the same thing to the other eye. So once you have that shadow on the top lid exactly how you want it, it's time to do basically the same steps on your bottom lid. So for that, I am using this e.l.f. pencil brush, and we are dipping into that first shade that we put all over our lid, and we're gonna focus that, like I said before, on the outer half of our eye. So starting from the very outside edge, and just sort of working that in right up until about here. So think of it like where your pupil starts. If you're looking straight ahead, you want to stop right about there. Then going in with a Morphe 432, we're going to use that almost black shade that we used on the top lid as well, and we're just putting that right in the outer corner. So we're connecting the top wing to the bottom lash line, and we're just kind of packing in that color as close to the inner rim as we can. Alright, so at this point, if you guys wanted to put some mascara on your lashes and glue on some falsies, I would do that now. I have lash extensions, as a lot of you know. So I am just going to go in with some telescopic because I did get some powder, some foundation on my lashes. So I'm going to do that now. And I'm also going to coat the bottom lashes. Now for this, again, I can't stress this enough. You want to focus most of the product on the outer half of your lashes. Now I know some of you may think you're only going to put mascara on half of your bottom lashes. Yes. And I will show you what it looks like now. If you guys are going to use falsies, I would suggest doing one that goes from smaller to larger to kind of give you that feline effect even more. And I just sort of use that shadow that we put down before on our bottom lash line as a guide. So for highlights, I want to do a highlight with like a golden undertone. For highlight today, I'm going to be using the Morphe Brett Rockman collaboration palette. There are like really pretty bronzy shades in here, but I think we're gonna go in with this shade called Mahu. I never looked at these names. Vagation, Get Laid, Chihu, Shady Bitch, and Baby Girl. So cute. I've swatched the colors before, but I've never used them. So going in with a Morphe Y14 and spritzing that brush with a little bit of all-nighter. Because we don't want to mess up all of that beautiful nose contour that we did earlier, we're going to use our finger for our nose and our Cupid's bow. And we do want a brow highlight as well as our inner corner. For that, we're gonna go in with our OFRA highlight. And I'm just going to focus on this top shade right here. I know, it's well loved, sorry. And as I said before, we're focusing basically all of our products on the outer half of our eye. So same thing with the brow highlight. I'm not gonna take it all the way in like we normally would. For lips today, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay 24/7 in the shade Uptight. And a little bit of Wishes from the Revolution Beauty Obsession collection. Oh, we're just gonna spotlight that right in the center. We're gonna hit our face one time with some Urban Decay All Nighter. And just because I'm that bitch, I'm also gonna go back in with some highlight. Also gonna do a little bit on our shoulders. That's it, you guys. This is the final look. For watching and hanging out with me today. If you guys did like this video, please hit that thumbs up as well as the subscribe button before you guys leave. I hope I taught you guys some new tips and tricks, techniques, things that you guys may not have known before. Yeah, and I will see you guys next week in the next one. Bye!